Amnesia made me forget his love until I said I wanted to leave. I don't even know your name. Those 6 words shattered him more violently than the bullet that had nearly taken my life. When I woke up in that sterile white hospital room in Brooklyn, New York, surrounded by machines blinking with life, I couldn't remember living. All I saw was a stranger staring at me like I held his entire world. He had a badge clipped to his belt, a scar running just above his eyebrow, and eyes that trembled even though the rest of him stood like iron. He said his name was Logan. He said I was his boyfriend. But my mind was a blank page. "Hey, it's okay," Logan had said, his voice low, soft like the echo of a song I once loved. "You don't have to remember everything right now. I'm just glad you're alive." That should have comforted me. Didn't. Because the only thing scarier than not knowing who you are is not feeling anything for the person who clearly loves you more than life itself. In the days that followed, Logan visited every morning before his shift at the 81st Precinct. He brought my favorite coffee, apparently. A bagel with cream cheese and jalapenos. Yep, that was apparently a thing. And stories of who I used to be. "You hated mornings but loved storms. You called my laugh annoying but made me promise to never stop doing it." He chuckled. "You even sang Rihanna off-key in the shower." God, I missed that sound. But none of it felt real. I kept waiting for the memory to snap back like a rubber band. It never did. The doctors called it retrograde amnesia, a temporary result of trauma from the mugging incident. The irony? Logan had found me bleeding, unconscious in an alley behind our apartment. Off-duty, unarmed. But it didn't stop him from chasing my attacker 2 blocks barefoot until backup came. He saved me, twice. But I still didn't remember loving him. One night, alone with my thoughts and my untouched dinner, I stared at the dim reflection in the hospital window and asked myself the question I'd been avoiding for weeks. If I don't remember him, do I really owe him anything? You're leaving? Logan's voice cracked as he stood in the hallway of the rehab center a week later. I just told him I was transferring to a recovery unit in Seattle. Far away. Alone. I nodded, clutching the manila envelope of transfer papers like a shield. "I think I need space to figure things out. On my own." His eyes darted to the floor, then back to me. "And what about us?" I hesitated. The guilt gnawed at me, but the emptiness was worse. "There is no us if I don't feel it." A silence heavier than the walls between us fell. He didn't argue, didn't cry. He just nodded and seemed left. The next morning, I boarded the flight. Seattle was gray, damp, and quiet. Exactly what I thought I needed. I enrolled in a trauma therapy program, started journaling, took long walks with no destination. But every sunset felt colder than the last. Every morning without that bagel felt emptier. I thought distance would help me find myself. But all I found was the shape of someone missing. One night, I walked into a bookstore cafe and heard a laugh. Not just any laugh. That laugh. I turned. It wasn't him. But something in my chest cracked open, and memories poured in like rain. A rooftop picnic on the 4th of July. Logan trying to grill, failing hilariously. His arms around me during a panic attack. The way he whispered, "You're safe now," against my neck after a nightmare. The fights, the makeups, the love, all of it. Back. I returned to New York 6 weeks later, heart pounding, unsure of what I'd find. Our apartment was still under my name. The key still fit. But the bed was cold, and his uniforms were gone. I asked around at the precinct. One of his partners, Detective Morales, looked at me like a ghost. He took time off. Said he needed a break from the city. Where'd he go? Didn't say. Just left. I sat outside the precinct on a bench and cried for the first time since the attack. I had come back, remembering, loving, regretting, but he was gone. Then a text. Unknown number. Did the jalapeno bagel finally hit again? My breath caught. I stared at the screen like it might disappear. Logan. I replied with trembling fingers. Me. It never stopped hitting. I just forgot how much I needed the burn. 15 minutes later, a squad car pulled up across the street. He stepped out, hair longer now, in civilian clothes. Eyes red. lips trembling. I ran. No hesitation. No apology. Just collision. I remember. I gasped against his chest. Everything. God. Logan, I remember it all. He held me like he would never let go again. I thought I lost you forever, he whispered into my hair. You almost did, I murmured. Because I didn't remember how much you meant to me, but now I do, and I never want to forget again. We stood like that under the fading summer sun. No more blank pages. Only the story we'd already written and the ones we still would. Because love, real love, doesn't vanish when memory does. It waits. Quiet, steady, unshakable, until you find your way back. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with the latest videos.